press conference was held at the United Nations headquarters today to discuss international efforts to combat malaria around the world. This conference was a part of World Malaria Day 2011, a day set aside by the UN to raise awareness about the severity of the malaria epidemic and to recognize the efforts being undertaken to fight this disease.
I was seeing all these children coming to the consultation, lying in the floor or everywhere because we didn't have place for them. And today when you are visiting, you can see proper beds with sometimes empty, sometimes with children with malaria, but it is not what we saw before. A lot of, for me, effort has been done everywhere when you look at prevention, but also if you look at treatment.
Governments and NGOs seeking to control the spread of malaria have found a boost in support from private citizens. Mandy, who has become an active participant in the fight against malaria, has traveled to sub-Saharan Africa to work directly with those affected and partnered with organizations dedicated to malaria control. She spoke with South News about the need to respond to the threat posed by this disease.
Just using whatever platform I have to raise awareness. I mean, the fact that every 45 seconds a child in Africa dies of malaria, and it's a preventable disease, it's a treatable disease. Just want to continue to spread the word. I think everyone can be a champion in the fight to end malaria. For instance, we're really stressing the idea of preventing getting malaria, so I would encourage people to log on to nothingbutnets.net. For just $10 you can send a net, and that saves a life.
Malaria is the third most lethal infectious disease in the world, causing more than 780,000 fatalities each year. 90% of these deaths occur in sub-Saharan Africa, where malaria is a major cause of poverty and acts as a roadblock on the path towards development in the region. One of the great tragedies of the malaria epidemic is that while the disease is preventable and treatable, it continues to deeply affect those in low-income countries. Today, organizations like Nothing But Nets, Rollback Malaria Partnerships, PSI, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are trying to eradicate malaria in developing nations, just as it has been eradicated in developed ones.
We've invested in sub-Saharan Africa close to $5 billion in the last several years, but the return is immense. We think we've decreased mortality by several 100,000 deaths a year, and malaria has cost sub-Saharan Africa about $40 billion a year against its GDP. So the return on investment is great. We're going to need another several $1 billion a year going forward, more emphasis on treatment and diagnostic interventions, as well as replacement bed nets.
World Malaria Day is a reminder of the importance of fighting this preventable but still devastating disease. With the help of the international community, the UN hopes to end all malaria-caused deaths by 2015. Connor Schratz, South News, United Nations.